Normally, I would do the intro, but for today's video, we're going to go away with it. We're not going to have the intro. So this is going to be my MVP for the MVPs of this YouTube channel. This will be the first look at what the MVP section is going to look like in 2025. This is a little preview of what it's going to look like, and I'm going to explain how we do our MVP section. So obviously we're going to have game picks, and we're going to pick 5 games a week to put on the MVP list. And then we're going to pick 5 games a week that we're going to put the point spread on the MVP list. And then 5 games a week that we're going to put, that's going to be the locks, as you'll see in a minute. And then the leans, and this is where I'm going to explain. And then we'll get into it, and I'll give you all my picks from the MVP section and just regular bowl game picks. But how the leans work is we're going to put a percentage on how confident we are that certain team is going to win, whether it be a bowl game or when we do it next year during the regular season, how confident we are they're going to win that game. And with that being said, let's get into the MVP chart for the bowl games. As you see, we have 5. We're going to start with our MVP CFB podcast MVP chart game picks bowl season. We've got first bowl game we've got is the Armed Forces Bowl. Oklahoma versus Navy. Oklahoma is on their backup quarterback. And I think the pick is easy here. And yes, later on you will get my bracket picks for the CFB playoff. But back to Oklahoma Navy. Oklahoma's on the backup quarterback, and I don't really think they care to be in this game. So that is why I think we all need to take Navy. Give me a second. I meant to do this before the stream. Split it over right there. Perfect. So the second game is a CFP playoff first round game between Tennessee and Ohio State. Now, on paper, you would think I would take Tennessee, but no. As you see here, I think Ohio State is the pick in this specific game, and I think we should all take Ohio State. They're at home in the playoff. There's no need to panic. I think they're going to be ready for Tennessee, and I think they beat Tennessee. Then we've got Georgia Tech and Vanderbilt in the Birmingham Bowl. And both of these teams had good seasons. Vandy was the surprise. And to say that I was shocked that Vandy actually did good, I'd be telling you the truth, because I didn't think they were going to be this good. So, but I think, other than being a good game, I think Vanderbilt is going to win this game. Then we get the Citrus Bowl between Illinois and South Carolina. Yes, as y'all all know, as y'all have seen on the other podcast, on this same playlist that I do with my co-host, I am a Big Ten guy, but I'm going South Carolina. And I think we all collectively need to pick South Carolina to beat Illinois. And in our last game pick for bowl season is for the MVP section is the Duke's Mayo Bowl between Minnesota and Virginia Tech. Minnesota, who I had zero expectations for, and as y'all saw in the preseason, Virginia Tech, who I thought was going to win the ACC. Maybe next year, but I'm not giving up, and I don't think y'all should either, on Virginia Tech. I think Virginia Tech is the pick here. We need to pick Virginia Tech. Now the locks. And as you see, our first lock is the Arizona Bowl, Miami of Ohio -1 versus Colorado State. That's where the money is right now. Now, not saying the money won't move to the other side of Colorado State, but it sounds like Brett Gabbert is going to play the bowl game. He's not going to opt out. So I think we need to take our lock here needs to be Miami of Ohio -1 in the Arizona Bowl versus Colorado State. Our next one is the Cure Bowl, and it's Jacksonville State +2.5 versus Ohio U. And this one, the spread just feels it's a lock for a reason. Jacksonville State absolutely demolished Liberty last week in the CUSA championship game. And I think that Jacksonville State can easily cover the spread here against Ohio. Then we got the Hawaii Bowl, South Florida and San Jose State, and the lock is South Florida +2.5. South Florida has covered the spread numerous times this year, and I don't think it's going to be any different in the Hawaii Bowl against San Jose State. If you watched San Jose State against Stanford, they did not look good at all. I think this is an easy cover spot for South Florida. Then we've got the Sun Bowl, Washington versus Louisville. The lock in this game is, of course, it's another point spread. It is Washington +5. I think Will Rogers goes out with a win in his last game as the quarterback at Washington, and they cover the spread of +5. Then you've got the Fenway Bowl between UConn and North Carolina. And I like UConn +4.5 to cover the point spread against North Carolina. Then we get to our leans. And like I said earlier, these are how confident I am that team is going to beat whoever they're playing. So the first one is the ReliaQuest Bowl. Alabama. I'm giving Alabama a 90% chance to win versus Michigan in the ReliaQuest Bowl. Now, hear me out. I understand Alabama might not have Jalen Milroe for the bowl game, but I think that's actually a good thing because then I think you can see what the other quarterbacks for Alabama look like. Ty Simpson, Dylan Lonergan, and a whole host of other people. So, and then Michigan won't have Colston Loveland. They won't have Mason Graham. They probably won't have Kenneth Grant. They won't have Will Johnson. Donovan Edwards is probably going to opt out of the bowl game if he hasn't already, which that is why I'm heavily leaning on the side of Alabama because they're still going to have more firepower than Michigan would if Michigan doesn't have anybody else opt out of the bowl game, which I think they will. We'll hear within the next couple of weeks if Michigan is going to lose more guys because they decide to opt out and get ready for the NFL. Then we got the Boca Raton Bowl between James Madison and Western Kentucky. And originally I had this at an 75-80% chance for James Madison to win. But after rewatching the Conference USA Championship game between Western Kentucky and Jacksonville State, I've rewatched every Conference Championship game to make these determinations on these MVP on the leans for the MVPs. And I really like 85%, I think, is the magic spot here. An 85% chance to win for James Madison versus Western Kentucky in the Boca Raton Bowl. We get down to the Independence Bowl now between Marshall and Army. Yes, it's a service academy. And I heard that this is the first time in the history of the Independence Bowl. Little fact that they've had two conference champions play each other in the Independence Bowl. I'm giving, and I think Marshall, I'm giving Marshall an 80% chance to win here. And I will explain after how we determine how we did. At the end of these last two leans for the MVPs. But I'm giving Marshall an 80% chance to win here because I think Army's going to have a lot of guys just like Michigan that opt out with either the opportunity to go to the NFL or to serve their country, which Army and Navy, thank you for your service. And then we've got the Alamo Bowl next between Colorado and BYU. And I'm giving, and I know this is a high number, I'm giving Colorado a 93% chance to beat BYU. The Alamo Bowl is, I believe, in Texas. And BYU is all the way over in Utah. That's on the other side of the country. That's on the other side of the country. And that's a long flight for BYU to get to Texas. So that's why in Colorado, it's a short flight. They go from Boulder to, I believe it's either Houston or Austin for the Alamo Bowl. San Antonio is where the Alamo Bowl is. San Antonio, Texas. So that's not a long flight for Colorado. They go from Boulder to San Antonio. And I'm giving Colorado a 93% chance to beat BYU. And then the last one is the Bahamas Bowl between Buffalo and Liberty. And I was tempted to go. Buffalo did not play in a conference championship game. But I was tempted to go with around a 95% chance here, but I stayed below 90. I'm going to give Buffalo an 88% chance to beat Liberty. One, because Liberty has a few guys that have jumped in the portal, including their quarterback, which worries me because we don't know who their backup is. We haven't seen their backup quarterback this year. So give me Buffalo 88% chance to beat Liberty and the Bahamas Bowl. And the way we determine how we did is after bowl season's over, we come back to this MVP chart. And if we got an MVP pick right, it gets a W. If we got a pick wrong, it gets an L. And then we add all that up with the other bowl games, which I will be going over in a second. And that's how we get our total for bowl season. Now, we get to the other bowl games that were not included in the MVP section. So we've got the VB Bowl, which is Ventress Bowl between South Alabama and Western Michigan. And I am personally, I'm going to pick Western Michigan. This is the first bowl game of bowl season. And this game is on Saturday. Then we've got the FRB. Oh, First Responders Bowl between North Texas and Texas State. It's the Battle of Texas Schools. Give me Texas State. Then we've got the Gasparilla. No, Gasparilla Bowl is down there. That is the. We've got Duke and Ole Miss, and I'm taking Ole Miss. The Texas. Oh, you know what we can do? Hold up. I'm going to do something to make this easier for us. Bowl season? No. So we've got Memphis and West Virginia and the Scooters Coffee Frisco Bowl. And let me see my notes here. Memphis. I'm taking Memphis. Western Kentucky. James Madison. We already did that. So the LA Bowl. We've got LA Bowl is UNLV and Cal. LA Bowl, Cal and UNLV. Give me Cal. Georgia Southern and Sam Houston. And the Arnold Carriers Bowl. New Orleans Bowl. New Orleans Bowl, Georgia Southern. We've got the Gasparilla Bowl, Tulane in Florida. Give me Tulane. I think I got this now. That's the Vegas Bowl, I think. Vegas Bowl with South Alabama, Western Michigan. Give me Western Michigan. First Responders Bowl. I'm repeating the bowls I've already gone over, so everybody knows. First Responders Bowl. Is North Texas, Texas State. Give me Texas State. Okay, we're going to need to. We're actually going to do this the easy way. I apologize for all the technical difficulties here. An American. We will get this, believe me. So we got the LA Bowl. We already got that one. Sam Houston, Georgia Southern. The New Orleans Bowl. We've already gone over that one. Jacksonville State, Ohio. Already gone over. Tulane, Florida. Notre Dame, Indiana. I will give you my pick for that later. Same with all the college football playoff games. UTSA, Coastal Carolina. Myrtle Beach Bowl. I'm taking UTSA. Northern Illinois, Fresno State. The famous Idaho Potato Bowl. I'm taking Fresno State. We've already done USF. Pitt and Toledo in the Games Above Sports Bowl. Games above Sports Bowl. Pitt and Toledo. Give me Toledo. Arkansas State and Bowling Green playing in the Ventures Bowl. Give me Bowling Green. Navy, Oklahoma, we already went over. That one. The Liberty Bowl, Texas Tech, Arkansas. Give me Arkansas. The Las Vegas Bowl, Texas A&M and USC. Give me Texas A&M. UConn, North Carolina, already did. Boston College, Nebraska, which is the Pinstripe Bowl. Pinstripe Bowl, Boston College and Nebraska. Give me Nebraska. Pop-Tart Bowl, Iowa State and Miami. Give me Miami. Already did it. East Carolina. The Military Bowl, East Carolina, North Carolina State. Give me North Carolina State. Yep. I need to find one. Hold up. Oh, you know what? We can do it by conference. Hold up. I'm doing something. Give me a minute. So the Big Ten teams. Man, this would make it easier. Veterans, that's what it is. Veterans Bowl. South Alabama, Western Michigan. Give me Western Michigan. Okay, and then I just need to find Ole Miss, Duke. Back on track. I did not say that. I said ACC. It's not the ACC. I'm sorry if I'm struggling over here. I am looking for a specific bowl game. Did most of these? And if we haven't, we will get to it in a second. There's a specific bowl game I'm looking for. We already did BYU and Marshall. Oh, that's the Gator Bowl. That's what that is. The Gator Bowl is Ole Miss and Duke. Give me Ole Miss. Texas Bowl, Baylor and LSU. Give me LSU. Okay. We're back on track now. New Mexico Bowl, TCU and Louisiana. Give me TCU. The HB Holiday Bowl, Syracuse and Washington State. Give me Syracuse. The Ventress Bowl, which we already did, Bowling Green, Arkansas State. Give me Bowling Green. It used to be Guaranteed Rate Bowl. Now it's just a Rate Bowl. You've got Rutgers and Kansas State. Give me Kansas State. You've got the Idaho Potato Bowl, which we already did. Myrtle Beach. The Gasparilla Bowl, Tulane, Florida. Florida. New Orleans Bowl, LA. Okay, so I think we got all of them. Did we? We did. We did. And that, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for this video. I'm sorry for all the technical difficulties. I will see you back here at 5:45 today for another video.